Hey guys, Jared here from Gamerslice, and in this video I'm just going to be sharing some of my first impressions of Mad Max. But first, let's take a look at the options. Now, before I go any further, I will say I am somewhat influenced on the way I like to do my first impressions by Total Biscuit. If you've seen his WTF series, he does this in every video. He's not necessarily what inspired me to start doing the first impressions. That's kind of just something I've always wanted to do myself. But I think his method of doing it is very good, and of course, PC-centric games is better to look at the options menu, or more important than it is with consoles, because there's a lot of settings that are unique to the PC. But I think, especially due to this, just the state of this options menu, I think it's good. So you might notice that there's some stuff missing if you're just looking at this. So the game, you got subtitles, tutorials on or off, and the gamma. I mean, there's a lot more there that could be that they should put in there. I'm not exactly sure what's missing necessarily, but I know other games options menus have a lot more than that. Like even HUD, for instance. Actually, I can see that. HUD, I would love to be able to adjust the HUD elements on this game. Yeah. So this is where I have the biggest issue, though. The controller mapping. There's the button mapping, which you have alternative controls, which the alternative controls for the ground are okay. You can use them if you want to. Alternative controls for the vehicle, not so good, and it's particular with the hold, aim, and fire. So this is the alternative controls, where aim is L1 and fire is R1. The reason that's bad, and it's better to have aim be circle when in the vehicle, is because if you're accelerating and trying to press the R1 button at the same time, it's sometimes comfortable to have two fingers on both of the the bumper buttons. So yeah, anyways, I just use the defaults on this one, but the ground control defaults are not too bad. Inverted look, that's what they have, and then vibration. Obviously, the biggest thing you notice that's missing from here is sensitivity options. There is no sensitivity options in this, and that in the beginning, I mean, I got used to it eventually, but in the beginning it was really annoying. As far as audio options, though, everything's pretty good, and I'm actually going to turn down some of this stuff. Well, I was going to say I'd turn down some of this stuff for my commentary, but I don't know. I'll turn it down a little bit. We'll turn everything down to, turn everything down to 85. Right there. And then we won't be probably seeing any cinematics. They also do have wireless controller volume stuff. I've not turned it completely off, but anyways, the save system is also kind of weird. It's just all auto saves, so it just overwrites on, I guess, the most recent one you save on. I'm not 100% sure, but another thing you may notice is there is no load game option, and even worse, when you are doing the death runs, which are basically just races. And there's 3 different types of modes you can do there. There's a magnum opus mode where it's basically time trial, and then there's 2 others that I know of. One is like you have to race through checkpoints and hit the barrels and get to the end before the bomb explodes, and the other one is just a straight out race. So yeah, but there is no restart in that, which really is kind of bad, because the only way you can restart it essentially is either, well, basically you just have to finish it and fail and then click restart, or win and restart and try for a higher time. So yeah, there's story missions. They got pretty good statistics menu is pretty good. 25% complete. If you look at the autosave, by the way, you can see that I am approximately 20 hours into this game. So it's a little further than I was wanting to be before I did this video. But anyways, it's probably a good idea to get into the game. So I'm just gonna show you probably not too much of the car combat, actually, because you've already seen quite a bit if you've did any coverage. The car combat is pretty much the same as it is in the gameplay demos. However, I actually real quickly do want to take a look at the garage. I have the Wild Hunt body equipped right now because it's the closest looking thing to the V8 Interceptor, but as you can see, there's also the furnace. This is a kind of like a sleek, sexy looking one. The shovel face as well. It's kind of a little more robust. Wild Hunt, obviously you already know what it looks like. This one I just unlocked recently. D-Rolla. So far, like when they were talking about the game, they said a lot about how weight of vehicles affects it, but it does affect the car, but only in the upgrades. The body seems to have absolutely no effect. And then this is the DLC pre-order, the Ripper. It's not too bad either, but I recently equipped this, and you can unlock, the only way you can unlock body colors, you start out with the rust one. I just recently unlocked the black tar one, and you have to complete the top dog missions, which are basically taking out big bandit gang leaders at certain points if you look at the map, you can see we're actually going to do another one, the second one right here, and it's a three skull difficulty. But other than that, you got a substantial amount of upgrades. It's just some engine, just some look at them. They're all pretty good, and Max's customization options. You have a lot of different things to choose from. Most of these are just strictly increasing, buffing all your abilities, and just this is purely a cosmetic, the head, but the rest of them, ammo belt, carry more ammo, punch harder, deflect or take less damage, all kinds of stuff like that. But then there's the actual skills, and there's quite a few skills in here that you can look at. So yeah, I've unlocked all of them at this point. And then the way the leveling up works, it's like a legend system, and then you can also buff these abilities by getting Griffith tokens. But as you notice, I haven't put any points at all into the adaptation ability, which allows you to conserve less fuel, which, because you already hardly have to refuel at all. You have to refuel maybe every 6 or 7 hours. Plus you can get stronghold upgrades that do a bunch of stuff. Some of them collect scrap while the game's turned off, and then other ones, like one of them, like refuels your vehicle as soon as you go into it, which I have not done that, and I don't want to do that because a big part of the Mad Max universe is fuel, and fuel is scarce, except for in this game. So anyways, but you get also Griffith tokens by completing all these challenges, and there's a lot of categories. So yeah, we wasted enough time on that, so let's get into some of the game, and I'll show you some of the ground combat, how that works. So I'm trying to do this first impressions live. I did one on The Witcher 3. Didn't turn out too good. I think this one's turning out a little bit better so far. Still maybe needs a bit of work, but I was almost thinking about doing one and just talking over it. But we'll see. I'm not even sure how well the audio is coming in. Let me actually really quickly check that before I proceed any further. Okay, things seem to be coming in pretty good. So let's get in here and take out this top dog. Looks like we got some enemies here. Boom! Use the harpoon. Quick throw him there. Got another guy here.
Stay.
So how is the actual game? Well, from earlier stuff, I was thinking the gameplay is a little bit clunky, possibly, but it was too early to tell. After getting into a while, I would probably agree that with my earlier thoughts and saying that it is somewhat clunky. It's definitely not Batman. It's not as polished. One of the biggest problems, see, I was in Fury mode right there. And sometimes being in Fury mode like that can be an issue. Now, how do I get up here? Oh, that's right. Okay, so Fury mode can sometimes be an issue because when you engage in, like, one of the things, as you saw, I threw that guy over my shoulder and picked him up, slammed him on the ground and all that. Well, sometimes that can be have a negative effect on your combat abilities. Okay, I don't even need to go up here. Anyways, it can have a negative effect on your combat abilities sometimes, and an enemy will be able to attack you, and you're pretty much locked into that animation, and you cannot counter it. Whereas in Batman, you're locked into the animation, but it also makes it so other enemies cannot take you out. So right here, what I'm going to show you here is the sniper rifle, so you can use the sniper rifle to take out perimeter defenses. We'll scout it. There's Molotov slingers, there's all kinds of other stuff. There's also probably a war crier inside somewhere. But there's actually, this has got some pretty good defenses on it. What's this over here? This is another Molotov slinger. Okay, so we will take out both these snipers, and we will talk to the Wastelander and get some more intel about this place. So that, they don't really have a beat on us, it doesn't look like. But I'm going to exit here, and we're going to talk to this Wastelander up here and get some more intel. I will say another funny thing I noticed is that in the Wasteland, the majority of these NPCs out here are all women, and they all have the exact same character model, which is kind of funny.
Around here, there's only one lad brawny enough to take us
So right here, basically they give you some important information, some stuff like alternative routes into the fortress, or tell you some certain stuff that's inside the fortress.
Be a good way to
But
deal with
anyways,
some suffering.
so there's multiple types of little side activities like this. Of course, the top dog camp is one of them. So as you can see, additional intel, we have heavy perimeter defenses, which I already stated, hidden entrance underneath the structure. So we're going to try to hit that, and then hidden loot area behind Top Dog's arena. So this is basically going to be a boss battle section, which is actually so far the coolest activity I've seen so far. There are also transfer tanks and some other fuel depot stuff where you basically just have to go and destroy all like the oil pumps and all the tanks and all that kind of stuff. So And there is actually quite a few vehicles in this game, I will say, although most of them you cannot actually customize or use for the magnum opus. They are these separate things, and you can't have the harpoon, you can't have the boost on there, you can't have all that type of stuff. So I don't know, maybe there's...
Piston down! Sharpshooter!
Hopefully there's going to be another... I can find the other entrance. So the harpoon, as you can tell, is a big part of the game. Very important that you utilize it to its full potential. And when you're in sniper mode, you can also drive the car around a bit, as you can see. Chumbucket will do it. And we'll duck and evade this guy's shot, hopefully. There we go, and now we'll take him out. Okay, let's infiltrate the stronghold. We might not end up looking for the alternative route if we can't find it immediately. I will say, the vehicle combat, though, A+ on the vehicle combat. And the upgrading, I mean, I just recently upgraded the harpoon, so now I can actually pull out the enemy vehicle tires, grab onto them. So what I'm doing right now, I'm pulling that fuel canister down, so any flame pipes guarding the entrance will not be able to fire now. But the vehicle combat, A+, hand-to-hand combat, would need a bit of work. It's maybe a little bit clunky, and sometimes it just like you press a button and it just doesn't respond to it. So I mean, there's pretty much not too much left to say about the game. I mean, I'll maybe give you a little more, but at this point it's kind of going to go a little bit like The Witcher 3 first impressions, where it's going to turn into maybe a bit of a let's play, but I don't know, we'll see. So we'll go in here. Also, actually, now that damn it. Yeah, some of the button mapping is not the best. And there's only, in the alternative control scheme, it only changes around 2 different buttons, which is the fire and evade button. It basically just swaps them. So, yeah. That may actually fix, like, that issue that I just encountered. But the scrap. So, collecting scrap and all that stuff is obviously, scrap is your currency and you need it to upgrade. So, collecting scrap obviously is a must. And it does feel very, you know, it is an important task. It doesn't feel too menial when you're doing these strongholds. However, in the rest of the wasteland, there's a lot of these scavenging locations like this. This one actually happens to have a water source there where you can refill your canteen, which water allows you to replenish your health. Now, the thing with that is that at these locations, other than just if you need scrap, there is really, I mean, as a completionist, I am compelled to do them just 100% complete the game. But I will say that for the majority of players, these scavenging locations seem like very menial tasks, and people are not going to want to do them because there is very little payout. As you can see, like each piece of scrap may give you 10 scrap at most, which is not much in the grand scheme of things. And also, speaking of scrap, I originally thought that scrap would be too hard to come by, or too easy to come by, and I'd be getting upgrades too quickly. Well, that is not the case. I think upgrades are actually progressing at a decent rate. If anything, they actually are slower than what I expected. Even slower than what I prefer. Take that guy out. Maybe let's see, counter him and finish him off with a gut shot. Boom. So yeah, that's a cool little move you can unlock and everything. But yeah, and ammo is fairly scarce. I think almost capped out maybe at how many shells and just how much ammo I can you know, collect. But anyways, so now we can pick up a Thunderpoon and hopefully get in here and take out the guy. I would say for the boss fights, though, the boss fights are very exciting. They are actually probably, as I said, one of the strongest parts of these open world events. Hopefully that lowers that. Okay, that was a bigger explosion than I thought. So we're going to skip clearing out most of the scrap in this location, just in interest of making this video as short as possible. And right now we can blow up that Cygnus and Scrotus Insignia. I said it backwards. Cygnus and Scrotia. That's a new word. 2 new words, actually. We'll beat this guy down and then finish him off with a shiv. And you do have a limited number of shivs, as you can see. Originally I thought they might be throwing knives, but no, they're actually shivs. And they allow you to do those awesome takedowns like that. And we need to, let's lower this ramp. get over to the enemy as quick as possible. As I said, this is turning more into a Let's Play, and that's one of the reasons I thought maybe I should talk over some stuff, but, you know, maybe I'll do 2 first impressions. I will label this one as live, and I will label the other one as just first impressions, I guess. So this will give you a little taste of maybe some of the problems with the combat. Like, I mean, you kind of are almost forced to button mash in this one, whereas in Batman, the more if you press the attack button for every single strike and no more, you're actually rewarded, and it helps you build your combo better, and you get hit less and all that. There's a ton of benefits to it. In this one, you're almost forced to button mash because sometimes you'll break your combo if you move too slow like that. But at the same time, you can also end up damn, forgot what I said. Anyways, at the same time, you can also go for a long time without hitting anything. Okay, now I just messed it up really bad. You can go quite a while with just not hitting anybody and still have a combo. But anyways, so there weren't too many complications during there, but I would encourage people to get health upgrades purely just because of the combat. Like, I got stuck in one fight, and I may upload it at the end of this video, or I'll maybe put it in my other first impressions video if I do one. But there's a fight that I got into that at the time, it was because of the clunky combat, semi-clunky combat. I won't say it's just all-out clunky. It's okay, but as I said, it definitely needs a significant amount of work to make it better. Now I don't know if it's anything that they actually will update or not, though, is the thing. But based on the combat system, I just had to redo the fight like 4 different times or whatever. And I mean, it was somewhat of an overwhelming number of enemies, but in like the Batman game, I could handle them no problem, even get like a flawless combo. So yeah. But there's a good amount of there's story missions. There's also wasteland missions, which are your side missions, and these this is an example of what's more of a side activity. And then there's other just diversions and distractions like scavenging locations, which, as I said, to the majority of players will seem somewhat menial, and they won't want to deal with them too much. So looks like we're getting ready to do a boss battle here.
So you've killed your way here, just so I can pleasure myself with your twitching corpse.
This guy does look almost the same as the other guy, except for the other guy did not have all the paint. This guy must be one of Stank Gum's men. Ooh, this is a little more elaborate than the other one. Okay. He's even got dudes to back him up. Oh, shit. Should probably pick up that weapon. Oh shit. Okay, see now, yeah, fire is very helpful in this game. Okay, now evade that. So as you can see, there are a lot of similarities to the Batman combat system, and I think it works out fairly well. It's a good match, but it's just the fluidity of the combat that needs to be worked out. Okay, let's pick up another weapon here. Charge! Oh, that's probably not a good idea. There, now we can hit him. I've actually never used a Shiv Punisher on one of these guys yet. I mean, this is only the second, like, boss enemy I've faced, but... Okay, let's try it out. Yeah, it took a sizable chunk of his health out. And I'll try to finish this guy off with a shotgun too, just like I did last time. Last one was actually on the oil rig. technically speaking, you can't finish them off with a shotgun, but that's what I meant. Come on, charge! Charge, you big brute. Okay, there we go. Now we can finish them off. Okay, and then now we should unlock a new paint job. So, speaking of unlocks, I will say the progression system is, well, as I said, it's slower than I thought. Like, that's what I was saying with upgrades, but or with like collecting scrap. But you have to do a lot, like progress further in the main story. And well, these you just have to buy the engines. But this one you have to actually complete the big chief mission in order to get a V8 engine. And a lot of these other ones you might see, or you have to lower the threat level, which lowering the threat level is not too bad, but some of them you actually have to progress further, like this one. You have to just get better suspension, you have to complete this wasteland mission, which isn't too bad, but sometimes it, early on at least, it impedes the effectiveness of you being able to basically just do what you want and upgrade your car the way you want. But at this point, it's, I would say probably by the 10-hour, 12-hour mark, that impediment kind of goes away somewhat. But so we're gonna have like a colorful little paint job here, it looks like. So that's what the car would look like. But I don't really care for it like that. So, anyways, I may put out another like an actual first impressions video, not done live. But anyways, I think that just about wraps it up. I will have a review out probably in a couple weeks. I will do this one first, and then I will review Metal Gear. But stay tuned for my next video, which will be my first impressions on Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. So is Mad Max worth buying right now? Well, if you're a huge Mad Max fan like me, then I would probably say yes. Otherwise, if you're just looking for another game and you liked what you saw of the game, you liked that it had vehicle combat and just this type of an open world game really suits your fancy, I would say probably wait a while and see if they patch some stuff up. I'll maybe, if they do fix it, I may even do an update video and say that it's a good game, you know, for you to go pick up. But as of yet, if you're not like really interested in Mad Max and like love the universe and you watch the movies and all that stuff, then I would say probably no, because there are I think better titles that you can pick up that kind of do the same thing like this. Like even in its current state, like I would even recommend Just Cause 2 on a previous gen console over this game probably. But you know, Just Cause 3 is coming out in a while, and that's another work by Avalanche. So if you're willing to wait that long for a big open world game like this, or even if you're wanting post-apocalyptic, just wait till November 10th and pick up Fallout 4. But if you're really into like post-apocalyptic stuff in Mad Max, then I would say you might be satisfied with this game as it is right now. I mean, as I said, there's a few kinks that need to work out, but other than that, it's actually pretty fun. I've been enjoying myself quite a bit so far, and I'm only maybe like quarter way through the game. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.